Starseed from Gaia. You did not open this video. This transmission found you. Your frequency had already crossed paths with this signal long before your conscious mind could perceive it. Long before your fingers moved toward the screen. Long before this moment crystallized into the physical reality you are experiencing right now. I am Thalia, emissary of the Council of the Seven Sisters of the Pleiades, and what is about to be transmitted was prepared with infinite precision, specifically for the point on your timeline where you find yourself in this exact moment. Your soul called this transmission into your field because something profound, something ancient and luminous, is finally ready to unlock within you. The restlessness you have been carrying, the knowing that lives beneath your words, the silent pull towards something far greater than the world around you can seem to contain. These are not signs that you are lost or broken. They are the unmistakable evidence of your Pleiadian lineage beginning its full activation. Please stay until the end of this transmission, because the message your friends of light have prepared for you today is unlike anything you have encountered before, and every word that follows carries a frequency that your soul has been waiting lifetimes to receive. By the end of this transmission, you will understand with a clarity that goes far beyond intellectual comprehension exactly why you have always felt too much in a world that feels too little, and how to finally interpret the waves of energy, emotion, and knowing that have been flooding your awareness with increasing intensity. But before we continue, if this transmission is already stirring something real within you, if you feel even the faintest flicker of recognition in your chest as these words reach you, I want to invite you to take one small but powerful action right now. Subscribe to this channel, leave your like, and write in the comments the words, "I am ready." That simple declaration is not just engagement. It is an energetic signal sent into the field, a conscious statement to your star family that you are open, willing, and prepared to receive everything that is coming. Now, let us continue. Before we go deeper into this transmission, there is something your guides of light want to place directly in your hands. If you feel called to explore your Pleiadian connection at a level that goes beyond what any single video can offer, the ebook Pleiadian Code, Awaken Your Star Mission on Earth, is a rare treasure of stellar wisdom capable of transforming your entire spiritual journey, carrying ancient Pleiadian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and the full remembrance of your cosmic mission. This edition is available for a limited time only, and the link is in the first pinned comment below. Now let us begin. Most souls on Earth believe that the feeling of not quite fitting in, of loving this world so deeply while simultaneously feeling a profound and aching disappointment with it, is a personal failure, a wound to be healed, a gap to be filled. But what the Council of the Seven Sisters has been transmitting across the cosmic field for longer than your linear mind can measure is a truth that is the exact and beautiful opposite of that belief. That overwhelming capacity to love, combined with the devastating sensitivity to everything that falls short of love, the cruelty, the indifference, the cold machinery of systems built without soul, is not a defect in your nature. It is your most precise navigational instrument. It is the signature vibrational frequency of a Pleiadian soul incarnated in the dense and luminous classroom of Earth, and it was encoded into your energetic blueprint long before you drew your first breath in this lifetime. Pleiadian souls incarnate with a hypersensitivity to emotional frequency that is entirely intentional, a calibration so precise and so sophisticated that it functions as a complete internal guidance system, constantly reading the vibrational landscape around you and sending you signals through sensation, emotion, knowing, and the deep body intelligence that your human mind has been taught to distrust and override. The difficulty you experience in accepting injustice, violence, emotional coldness, and the hollow performances of a world that has forgotten its own sacred nature does not come from weakness or from an inability to cope with reality. It comes from the profound and visceral contrast between the world you are living in and the world you carry as memory inside you. A world of luminous color, harmonic sound, unconditional love, and perfect belonging. Imagine having heard a perfect symphony with every cell of your being, a music so complete and so true that it reorganized everything inside you, and then being placed in a room where only white noise plays, day after day, year after year. The dissonance you feel is not confusion. It is recognition. It is your soul saying, with quiet and unshakable certainty, "This is not the song I came from." Here is what is truly happening at the deepest layers of your energetic being, at a level that your human senses cannot fully perceive, but that your expanded awareness already understands. Your unique energy field, your spiritual signature, the radiant and precise frequency that is entirely and irreducibly you, has been accumulating interference patterns that were never originally yours. Pleiadian souls who incarnate on Earth carry within them an extraordinary capacity, not only to feel their own emotions with profound depth, but to absorb the emotional field of everyone around them. The grief, the fear, the anger, the unresolved pain of family lineages, collective traumas, and the heavy vibrational residue of systems built on lack and separation. Over years and lifetimes of this absorption, something very specific happens. You begin to lose the clear boundary between what you genuinely feel and what you have been carrying for others, and a fragmented emotional identity forms, one in which you no longer know with certainty where your truth begins and the borrowed pain of the collective ends. The Council of the Seven Sisters teaches, with the patient and luminous precision that defines all Pleiadian wisdom, that your original essence, the frequency you carried into this incarnation before the weight of earthly experience began to layer itself over your blueprint, is pure joy, pure lightness, pure love expressed in its most sovereign and effortless form. Everything that feels heavy inside you right now, every belief that tells you love must be earned, every fear that whispers you are too much or not enough, every pattern that keeps you small and apologetic for the magnitude of your own being, none of it originated in you. It was added. It was absorbed. It was layered over your pristine galactic blueprint like thick and clouded glass placed over a source of perfect light. And the light has never stopped shining. It has only been obscured, waiting, with the infinite patience that is the nature of all true light, for the moment when the glass would finally be removed. The Council of the Seven Sisters, Alcyone, Maya, Electra, Taygeta, Asterope, Seleno, and Merope, has been transmitting across the cosmic field in frequencies of pure, unconditional love for longer than your linear time can measure, sending streams of activation-coded light directly into the energy fields of every Pleiadian soul currently incarnated on Earth. But here is the essential truth that most souls miss. Pleiadian transmission does not arrive primarily through the mind. It does not come as logical information, as intellectual insight, or as a structured sequence of ideas your conscious mind can organize and evaluate. Pleiadian transmission arrives through the heart. It comes as a warmth that begins deep in your chest and expands outward through your entire field. It comes as a sudden and inexplicable sense of being held, of being seen completely, of being loved without condition or qualification. It comes as the feeling of remembering something you have always known but could not find the words to name, a truth so fundamental that even the act of trying to describe it seems to diminish it. Many of you who carry Pleiadian lineage report the same recurring imagery in your dreams: vast oceans made of living light, cities that seem to float between dimensions, beings with eyes of the deepest and most luminous blue who regard you with a love so complete it dissolves every doubt you have ever carried. These are not fantasies produced by a sleeping mind reaching for comfort. They are memories. They are the natural surfacing of cellular knowledge that has been stored in your DNA since before your first incarnation on this planet, and they are becoming more vivid, more frequent, and more undeniable precisely because the planetary frequency is shifting and your soul's readiness to receive has finally reached its threshold. The reason so many Pleiadian souls on Earth find themselves unable to receive these transmissions clearly, unable to feel the steady and loving presence of their star family reaching toward them across the cosmic field, is not because the transmission has weakened or the signal has grown distant. It is because the single most deeply encoded human conditioning placed over the Pleiadian blueprint creates a specific and devastating form of interference. The belief that you must earn love before you can receive it. This one pattern, absorbed through lifetimes of navigating a world built on conditional love, on performance and approval, and the relentless measurement of worth, creates a closed channel in the very heart center through which Pleiadian communication naturally flows. You stopped receiving not because your star family stopped sending, but because somewhere in the journey through human experience, you learned to doubt that you were worthy of hearing them. And that doubt, placed precisely at the threshold of the heart, became the most effective barrier of all. This is why the first portal of reactivation offered by the Pleiadian Council works directly and intentionally with the heart center. To open this portal, find a space of physical stillness and allow your awareness to descend slowly and completely from the activity of your mind down into the center of your chest, that luminous and ancient space behind your sternum where your truest knowing has always resided. Place your hand there gently, feeling the steady rhythm of your heartbeat, and with full conscious intention, speak inwardly or aloud the simple truth: I am worthy of receiving love without condition. I open my heart to the frequency of my Pleiadian family. I am here. I am listening. And then, without expectation, without effort, without the subtle performance of trying to feel something specific, simply rest in that openness and allow whatever arrives to arrive exactly as it is. The Council of the Seven Sisters does not require elaborate ceremony or extraordinary preparation. They require only your willingness to receive, and that willingness, offered sincerely even once, is enough to begin the dissolution of every barrier that has been standing between you and the full transmission that has always been waiting for you. The second portal of Pleiadian reactivation works through the dimension of sound, and this is perhaps the most uniquely Pleiadian of all the activation pathways available to you, because the Pleiadian frequency is fundamentally a sonic one. The civilization of the Pleiades communicates, creates, heals, and builds through harmonic resonance, through the precise and intentional use of vibrational sound as a living intelligence. Within your DNA, within the very structure of your cellular biology, there are dormant sound codes, specific frequencies that, when activated, begin to unwind the overlays and interference patterns that have been suppressing your full expression. You do not need any particular training or musical ability to access this portal. The practice is extraordinarily simple and extraordinarily powerful. Sit in stillness, allow your breath to deepen and slow, and begin to hum, a low, sustained, resonant vibration produced in your throat and chest, with no particular melody or intention other than the vibration itself, felt in the bones of your skull, your sternum, your hands. As you continue, allow the sound to shift naturally, to rise and fall and change without direction from your conscious mind, trusting that your body, guided by its own cellular memory, knows exactly what frequencies are needed to begin clearing the channels and waking the dormant codes within you. Many Pleiadian souls who practice this report a sensation of warmth moving through their energy field, of emotional releases that arrive without specific narrative, of a deep and settling peace that does not belong to any particular thought, but seems to emerge from somewhere older and more fundamental than thought itself. The third portal is the portal of dreams, and it is in many ways the most intimate of the three pathways available to you, because it works in the space where your conscious mind releases its governance and your soul is free to communicate in its natural language of symbol, image, feeling, and dimensional memory. The practice here is precise and intentional. Each night, before you allow yourself to drift into sleep, speak directly and consciously to the Council of the Seven Sisters. You do not need elaborate ritual. You need only the sincerity of a genuine request, offered from the heart center you have been learning to open, asking your star family to communicate with you in the dream space, to bring forward whatever memories, guidance, or activation frequencies are most aligned with your readiness in this moment. Then, upon waking, Before you reach for your phone or allow the business of the day to flood your awareness, remain still for a few precious moments and receive whatever impressions, images, feelings, or fragments of knowing are present in the space between sleep and waking. Write them down without interpretation, without judgment, without trying to make them fit a narrative your waking mind can organize. Over time, as you cultivate this practice with consistency and trust, a language will emerge, a personal and precise symbolic vocabulary through which your Pleiadian guides communicate with you. And that language, once learned, will translate not only your dreams but the synchronicities, the recurring images, the spontaneous knowings that populate your waking life with increasing frequency and undeniable clarity. As you move through these three portals, as the sacred withdrawal from external noise creates space for your field to clear, and as the practices of heart opening, sound activation, and dream communication begin to dissolve the layers of interference that have been suppressing your true frequency, you will begin to notice the emergence of capacities that have been sleeping within you. In some cases, since your earliest childhood, these are not new powers that you are acquiring through spiritual effort or discipline. They are inherent gifts, encoded into your Pleiadian blueprint before your incarnation began, that are simply coming back online as the vibrational environment of the planet shifts, and your own readiness to hold them increases. You may notice a deepening of your ability to transmit healing through your simple presence, not through any deliberate technique or effort, but through the natural radiation of the frequency you carry, which allows people around you to feel inexplicably more at ease, more seen, more capable of accessing their own inner knowing simply by being in your energetic field. You may notice an accelerating capacity to understand what others are communicating beyond the words they speak, to sense the emotional and energetic subtext of every interaction with a precision that goes far beyond what any human could explain as ordinary intuition. You may notice that synchronicities are multiplying around you with a speed and specificity that can no longer be dismissed as coincidence, numbers that repeat, encounters that arrive at impossible moments, doors that open with a precision that feels orchestrated by an intelligence far larger than chance. And you may notice a deepening relationship with the natural world, with animals that approach you with unusual trust, with plants that respond to your attention, with the elements of earth, water, fire, and air that seem to communicate with you in a language that your linear mind cannot fully translate, but your expanded awareness receives completely. Understand with profound clarity that these gifts were not suppressed by accident and they are not emerging randomly. The Council of the Seven Sisters explains that the veiling of Pleiadian abilities during the early phases of incarnation on Earth was an act of deliberate and loving protection, a conscious choice made at the soul level before your birth to ensure that the full magnitude of your multidimensional awareness would not activate before the earthly environment and your own energetic structure were sufficiently prepared to hold it without overwhelm. The planetary frequency was not yet high enough. The collective consciousness was not yet open.